Hey loves, I found a way that you can remain in the state 24/7. And it's so simple, you're not gonna believe it. And this all came about because the other day, I was in a coaching session and someone asked me that they have to try really hard to remain in the wish fulfilled state. And this is talking about a specific person. And it was kind of difficult to maintain that state when they were talking with other people or doing things that they couldn't consciously focus on the wish fulfilled. And maybe this is something that you've struggled with or thought about recently, but again, there's a very simple trick and idea that's gonna push you straight through it. But first, I actually want you to think about how you feel in the wish fulfilled state as to things that you already have right now. Like let's say the easiest example is your name. So take your name, for example. Do you feel as if you have to consciously and constantly think about your name being your name in order for it to remain your name? You would look at me and say, well, absolutely not. My name is my name. I just feel it, right? But that's the same idea and the same thing we want to do with manifestation and manifesting our specific person. It's all about the feeling rather than the logical or conscious effort. Again, we're more focused on instilling this belief in our subconscious mind rather than our conscious mind. Our subconscious is intuition and our conscious is logical thinking. So again, I want you to go back and think about where you place the idea that your name is your name in your mind, because it's not in your conscious and logical mind. It's all set in your subconscious, right? Because no matter where you were, no matter who you were with, no matter what you're doing, your name would be your name, right? But we can absolutely do the same thing when it comes to our specific person, or you can actually use this for any manifestation for that matter. So right now, I want you to imagine that you're taking the feeling, or I guess feel into the state of what it would be and feel like had you already been with your specific person. Then I want you to take that feeling and I want you to ball it up and then put it in your pocket. And I know that sounds weird, but just bear with me. It's gonna make a lot of sense. Once you have it in your pocket, it is now with you and you're gonna carry it with you no matter where you're going. Because think about other stuff that you contain in your pocket, for example. When you have a bunch of change in your pocket and you start talking to people, you go to the supermarket, does the stuff in your pocket just all of a sudden change? Do you have to logically think about what's in your pocket for it to remain there? Again, you'd be like, absolutely not. It's gonna be there no matter what, because it's not something you have to logically think about. It's something I carry with me. That's the same thing we can do when it comes to the feeling or assumption of being with our specific person. And then once you're in this feeling, you don't have to worry constantly about logically thinking, assuming the state, stating your affirmations, doing your visualizations, because that's a feeling you're carrying with you. If you're still like, well, Kyle, I can't do this, assuming the state is way different from change in your pocket because it's a feeling as to a physical act. So if you're thinking that, let me give you this example. I want you to imagine a time that you were very, very confident in the past. Okay? Or really, you can pick absolutely any emotion, but I feel like confidence is usually the best for this example. So once you have that idea or feeling of confidence, again, think of a memory in which you had this. Think about the conscious effort you needed to sustain it. If right now you're looking at the screen like, I didn't have any, you're absolutely right. No matter what you were doing, when you were feeling that confidence, you took it with you every place you went. If you were talking to someone, you were confident. If you're at the supermarket, you're confident. You're at the store, you're confident. It's not just gonna completely go away because it's not something that you're logically thinking about. It's something that you're feeling. Again, you kind of crumbled it up in a ball, put it in your pocket, and you're carrying it with you wherever you go, just like your name. And now we're gonna do the same thing when it comes to the assumption that you and your specific person are already together. And it's funny because this idea is so easy and so it makes so much sense and so simple. But many of us still think, and again, it's completely fine if before this point you were like, well, how am I gonna logically think of my specific person when I'm talking to someone or at the supermarket? But you don't have to. Again, it's all about the feeling. And once you really master this, because again, with all these ideas, all these techniques or assumptions or metaphors, it can sometimes take some time to really implement it. But so for the next 24 hours, I want you to try this idea out. So again, I want you to imagine or assume the state of being with your specific person. Then again, I want you to crumble it into a ball or take that energy and just place it in your pocket. Or if you have like a necklace or something, put it on your necklace, put it with you in a place that's not in your mind so then you can carry it with you and keep it with you no matter what you're doing. And once you do this, see the way that everything you do begins to change. Because now that you have this assumption, now that you don't have to logically think about it, you're going to see that all of your actions, thoughts, beliefs begin to align with exactly what you want and the assumption that you and your specific person are already together. You'll also find that it changes in such subtle and weird ways that you didn't even imagine before. And this also aligns with the idea that I mentioned in a video long ago about how a small little ember can burst into a wildfire. And that's what we want to do when it comes to the assumption of your specific person. Even in the smallest things, if you are acting as if you and your specific person are together, that little spark, again, even in the small things, like you're making coffee in the way you would if you were with your specific person, is going to kind of snowball and create even larger and more permanent and concrete beliefs in everything that you do. And again, you're probably looking at me like, well, how is me assuming I'm with my specific person making coffee going to make any difference? But what we do in small things, we're going to do in everything. So if we can't assume the state when we're making coffee, how are we going to assume the state when we're actually talking to our specific person? Again, that's where the idea of taking up that feeling, putting it in your pocket, and then, because you're not going to go or do anything if it's in your pocket and not feel it, because again, you're carrying it with you literally anywhere you're going. I've tried this out and manifested so many things with it, and I've told it in so many coaching sessions and gotten the same exact results. But again, for the next 24 hours, I want you to try this out, and then I want you to let me know exactly how it goes. And again, look for even very small details where you begin to act differently because you're assuming fully the state of being with your specific person all the time. What I like about this idea as well is it gets rid of that feeling or pursuance in which we feel like we have to do our affirmations or visualizations every day at 9 or 10 a.m. or else we're going to mess up our manifestation. And that just isn't true. It's all about the assumptions. Now, I would say I really like the process of doing all of your affirmations, journaling prompts, visualizations on a schedule because it gets you into a natural state. But if you, for one day, don't feel like doing your affirmations, you just feel very confident and good in resuming your day, then I would absolutely just resume your day and live your life exactly as you would assuming the state. Because there will be a point in time in which your affirmations, your visualizations, journaling prompts become second nature to you. Again, in the same way that your name is your name, no matter what you're doing, you never have to affirm for your name, you never have to visualize for your name, it's your name, that's who you are. And that same idea is going to happen with your specific person and the assumption of already being with them. But I'm really excited for you guys to try this out. Let me know how it goes. If you did have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment section below. If you did have a personal question or wanted to reach out to me for one-on-one coaching, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, and then also don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, but I'll see you in the next video.